But anyway, so we'll get into that because we kind of talked about kind of how we met and kind of some of our career goals or lack thereof. And so I think that's why it's important to look at someone based on their potential rather than where they're at the current moment, especially people at our age range, right? So I don't know what it is about females as 18, 19, 20, from like 18 to 25 that thinks that they are going to get a man
He's like
that's
already
six-figure
40-year career,
and he's in his career and he's completely stable. Like,
but we're not even stable. I'm not even to a position. This is my first year working a real job.
Yeah,
and I mean, obviously, I can't. So just on that same, I guess, level, it would be weird for me. Well, now we're almost 27, so it might not be too weird, but it would be weird to just ask somebody to be completely ready-made. But I know if I'm looking in the mirror, I'm not even ready-made myself. Like, I haven't accomplished career goals that I have set for myself. And I've, like, gone straight through school. I haven't taken a break. So just imagine somebody like, you took a break. It's a lot of people who take breaks. And so it's like, 27, you don't really, somebody's not going to have it all together. I don't know too many 27-year-olds who have it all together.
Yeah.
I don't know many 30-year-olds who have it all together.
Saying,
so it's just like but we have, I want him to have his own house. Yeah. I want him to have X, Y, Z. I want him to have X, Y, Z. But it's like, looking back in college, it wasn't necessarily that I had a goal to build those things with my husband.
Right.
But now that we have done it and like built those things together, it's just been more enjoyable to like go through the process.
Yeah.
Of like accomplishing, because then some of the goals that we have accomplished, I can't imagine having to go through it by myself.
Right.
And then in a state by myself, like I moved to Tennessee by myself, and I can't imagine going through those. And of course, you have family, but they don't live here, so I can't imagine going through buying my first car by myself, buying a house by myself. And if people do it, it's not gonna be the end of the world. But I can't. It was more enjoyable to like go through those first with somebody else instead of those things. And obviously you go through them. I don't know. It just I was not looking for a perfect man because I wasn't perfect.
You still have standards though. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, for sure. I had very high standards. Very high standards.
Very fact.
People told me several times that my standards were too high. Yeah. Several times in college. When it was like always people who wanted to talk to me but they couldn't talk to me. Like, you be realistic. But it's like, no, I just had standards for certain things. And I saw potential. If it was a check that you didn't have yet, then I was just like, it could come. You just have to mature. Yeah. And men mature slower than women.
It's true.
I think women forget.
And I think this is a conversation that's very important depending on the age range. Because I feel like when you're younger, like us, when we met at 18, right, you can take your time on building on those potentials because we're still kids and we still have to grow to become an adult. And that phase of change is way bigger than someone that's changing from 30 to 40. Yeah. From 18 to 25, that's a way bigger change than somebody from 30 to 40. Yeah, so I understand, like, for people that's dating later, you don't really have time to necessarily look for potential. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, you should be established. At that point, you should, have a clear cut vision on what you want to do, on your temperament, on your attitude, on what you believe, and all that kind of stuff, right?
But even that's true. Even by that token, though, you need to give somebody grace.
Still give them
as much grace as you would want them to give to you.
To you, that's true too.
Because you're not perfect. You're not gonna be perfect. Marriage, in a lot of ways, perfects you. Man, so it's like a lot of things that you probably haven't even noticed you do. And we kind of touched on this in another episode,
right? Of course.
But a lot of things that you don't notice you do, you get to see in a marriage. So just in dating, give your somebody grace, the same level of grace that you want to give them back. It's things that you could be doing better, or things that you could improve on, or ways in life that you could be further along than what you are. So
that's true.
Just give people grace too.
Yeah, that's true. So that's why I say, man, you do have to give folks grace, and you do have to look at potential, right? Because, like you said, it's you can't have everything ready made. Nothing that's ready made is worth it. Things that are that you have to build on, things that's hard as far as like things that you have to work for, things that take time usually have the biggest reward. So it's good.
And I don't think even I'm sorry, but even the potential, obviously, and people like you can't bank on potential, but I think it's a level of like potential. Is like this person is growing; they're actively growing.
You have to weigh the pros and cons. Really, that's what it is. Got to weigh the pros and cons. It's like I said, like you can't just bank on potential because every human being has potential. Let's get that out the way. From the worst person to the best person, everybody has potential. Some level of some kind of potential. But what sets somebody apart is when you weigh the pros and cons of the person. Does the red flags outweigh the potential, or does the potential outweigh the red flags? That's really what it is, you know, and depending on how big the red flag is for you. So for instance, like if someone, like I said, has patience within them, they're nurturing, they're loving, they're selfless, but they're not necessarily goal driven, or they don't have everything together as far as financially. You can weigh that and see, okay, well, does the pros outweigh the cons, right? He may not be there financially, but he has such great character to where it's like, man, he's a great human being, right? So you got to think about that too.
Because even with you were never unmotivated. That was never a thing. You just didn't like school. And I think it was really because you didn't enjoy your major. So I think if you would have been in something you would have enjoyed. I enjoyed chemistry, so it was easy for me to excel because I enjoyed studying chemistry.
Like even now,
I think it's just you didn't enjoy what you were studying.
No, because even now, like now that I'm in education, we'll get into that. But just the side note, now that I'm in my master's program in education, I'm doing way better than I've ever done